All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Lifestyle Loops podcast. We're back for episode 10 today, and we have got another very special guest on the podcast. We have Ciaran Wilson. How are you doing, mate? Are you all good?
All good. Thank you very much for having me, lads. Very much appreciated. Looking forward to it.
Pleasure, pleasure. Kieran obviously had a very successful season last year. Your first season as a
First
novice,
season.
as a natural bodybuilder, and obviously went on to, yeah, just go through sort of that extended season the same way that I did as well, but maybe took a little bit of a different route, going down the WNBF Germany route. So
Absolutely.
we'll get into that sort of over the course of the hour here. But yeah, mate, obviously great to have you on. Yeah, one of the biggest questions I had, just coming into this, because I remember speaking to you um probably coming up 2 years ago now in Arkham,
Wow.
um, whenever we first
Wow.
sort of crossed paths.
Yeah.
That first season in the sport, mate, has that kind of cement, and I'm assuming it has based on the conversations we had beforehand. Has that
Yes.
cemented to you now that this is what you want to do? Bodybuilding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's sort of a good thing to start with because yeah, I get asked that a lot as well too in the gym, and I think just like I've always loved bodybuilding. I've always loved training, everything like that, and it's something that kind of was always in the back of my mind. And
Hmm.
like for a long time, rugby was my main sport for years. But yeah, I think so when I, originally reached out to James and went, I'd love to obviously compete some stage in bodybuilding. When you go through that whole process and then when you actually compete and you feel all the highs and lows and experience everything that comes with it, it definitely, yeah, it reassured me like this is what I want to be doing and I want to continue for doing as long as possible. So it's
100%.
yeah, it definitely has, and it's just the whole experience was just like yeah. So I sort of look back and sort of think about it now and again when we things come into your mind, and it's just incredible, just
Yeah.
inside and outside sort of training and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it opens quite a few doors and stuff as well, doesn't it? And just I know we've spoken about it a few times, the communities, like,
Oh, just wow. I was thinking about this earlier again when I was walking the dog there, just and it's yeah, the people you meet, it is really incredible. It's even the people that come to support, not even like, all the athletes you speak to and all their different stories and stuff like that, but the people there to support you and everything and the friendships and the memories you do create through it all is just it's mind blowing. It's sort of yeah, so no, it's cool. It is really cool.
It's funny thinking like the majority of the people who come to your shows you've literally just spoken to online. Like
Oh,
the
yeah,
amount of
yeah.
people I have like conversations with online and then they're like, yeah, I'm going to come to your shows. It's kind of crazy how you've like actually never met them in real life, but they support you that much compared to like the
Absolutely.
people you see on a day-to-day basis. You
Big
know,
Mates
time.
of
the
like
people online
10
want to see you do really well.
mates of like 10 years not showing up to your shows.
I've been there, it's happened. So
Oh no, that's yeah, that is a big thing. It's and it's funny, some of the people that yeah, like you said there, that do reach out and do come to your shows and message you after and say, "Oh, I was there and stuff," and you're just like, "Wow." You feel really grateful for a lot of things, I think, after because just that whole roller coaster, I suppose, of yeah, of all the emotions and everything you go throughout the whole prep and season.
100%. So I know you kind of mentioned before you come on there, but my next question was going to be plan
Yes.
for going again. Then you and James have a plan
Yeah.
that out.
So next year, um, planning on going again. So this obviously finishing that season, plan yeah was to take this year obviously out to
Hmm.
develop pack on obviously as much tissue within that space of time that you can.
Of course.
So yeah, next year I don't know. Yeah, that'll be the sort of thing I'll probably have to think about as well. What sort of like again shows and stuff I'd like to maybe do next year. I haven't really. suppose thought about that. Probably similar ones to obviously what I'd done this year. I'll definitely be on the cards, but I haven't really thought, I suppose, that far ahead in terms of what other ones are maybe out there that would be worth doing. Because yeah, I think it's really open minded because this again being the first season, it's sort of being kind of new to it all. What federations are even out there?
Hmm.
Um, as well, and what shows, what countries are running shows. It's all been very new to me as well in that
In terms
sense.
of like later down the line, based on the shows you did last year, is there a
Yes.
federation that you would be like, I actually
Mm.
really want to go down this route? Or are you kind of similar to what I'm like? I'm kind of
Uh-huh.
just like I enjoy competing. I want to kind of do as many federations as I
I
can.
would Yeah, I would say I would agree with you. Probably the same as yourself. I'm sort of because obviously we done PCA, PCA Naturals for the first time they ran it here. And then obviously PCA again over the British finals there, and then two WNBFs I'd done. So yeah, there's obviously there's so many more. So definitely open to see because again it's just the whole competing aspect of it, and if it's gonna there's that many good shows. So yeah, I suppose similar to yourself, yeah.
Mhm.
Now WNBF like in Ireland and the Germany one was just wow,
Next level.
incredible. So I suppose experience them, they'll definitely be ones that I'll do again. And PCA again, that was incredible. That being the first one. And yeah, PCA they're very good. Some of the shots I got from PCA as well, they were sort of some of my favorite shots that I got probably out of them all.
I like the
It's cool.
side of the stage ones and stuff, kind of like
Yeah,
shooting across. Yeah.
they were cool now. So yeah, just it's sort of going with the flow and see, kind of just seeing what happens.
See where it takes
I
you.
Was
suppose like it's
was going
exciting.
abroad a bit of a prep highlight, like Munich?
Yeah, just
Getting to see
absolutely
Munich as well, not even just the show. I'd say that would have been good.
big time, big time. I think because like it wasn't originally on the cards. It was sort of something that, as I suppose it got closer to the first show, I can't remember when that conversation came up. But Jeremy, I think I was in posing with James, and I think I in his posing room,
Hmm.
and I think he had put a shot up or whatever, and it must have been somebody to do with the Germany Federation must have commented or whatever, and I think that's what brought the sort of conversation up, and he was going out to judge that show
Hmm.
as well, and that sort of brought up the conversation. Then
That makes
obviously
sense then.
come along, so I think as the when I'm trying to think exactly because I think I maybe done my first maybe show, two shows, and then it was like right, I'm gonna do it. I can't really remember, but it was very sort of late on,
Hmm.
and yeah, I was just like, why not? May as well put myself out there. It was just it was an open category, and it's just yeah, why not,
Yeah.
sort of thing. So and it was the best decision ever. I think it being the last show and everything that came of that sort of experience. Again the show itself and everything around that, and then getting to spend, the last couple of days in Munich was just
Yeah.
incredible. So no, that's something I could probably speak about as well. But yeah,
The Germany show, did you have to qualify? Was there something to do with doing WNBF Ireland, or could you just enter it?
good question actually. Trying to think,
You'd have
possibly.
I know
probably
based on like
WNBF Ireland.
WNBF UK, if you want to do an affiliate show, you have to have done the
The
show in
host?
your home country. So I
Yeah.
think you doing the Ireland one, that kind of just means you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think sort of I figure there now. That's exactly yeah. And then because obviously yeah, the membership and stuff like that, and competed in that. Yeah, that sort of
Okay.
allowed me to do that. So yeah,
Makes sense.
I'm near sure that's right.
Okay. Great stuff. And yeah, man, obviously, I suppose I'll give you your dues with the shows. So, with the PCA Irish Naturals first timers, his first show, Ciaran came first. Was that a novice category or was that just a first timers category?
First timers category,
Mhm.
yes, first
I
timers
always find
category.
it
So
funny how they like change the wording between
yeah,
WNBF, NBFI, and PCA, like a first timers is a
100%.
category, and then they also have a first timer show. Um,
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right.
so first place in your first show, did you expect that going into it? I know you're probably gonna say no,
Yeah, I
absolutely
think
not.
yeah. I suppose just being first time and had no real expectations. I think coming like sort of start of January when we were like prep starting, or sorry, end of January when we prep started. You know, you don't think too much kind of it in a way. I was just sort of taking each week by week sort of thing
Mhm.
and just going, right, how can I like train as best as I can here, to really, really bring the best possible physique, obviously, when it comes to this first show. And I was so just focused on, I suppose, the training, nutrition, doing everything right. And I didn't really have, I didn't think, well, I did think about it, but yeah, I suppose I didn't have that big expectations. I was just so focused on getting up there and doing myself proud, doing everybody around me, doing, James pride, my mum and stuff, my family as well. Just, I think I was so focused, like really, really focused on that the first show was just, yeah, it's one you'll never forget. You
Yeah.
sort of, it's, I remember like being backstage and sort of telling myself like, because I remember I actually remember even speaking to you probably even before I started prep. And everybody says, actually be present, just like
Aye, yeah.
really, and like I know loads of people say that, but it's actually doing it is the
Yeah.
big thing,
Hard thing. Yeah.
like you say, oh yeah, be present, but when there's so much going on and trying to actually be present, it can be hard. So I remember actually telling myself backstage, uh, right, like actually just look around you here, like look where you are, like this is cool.
Yeah.
You're actually doing this. You're about to get on stage where you're all tanned up and flex your muscles in front of all these people.
I
So
know.
just, and again, just you could see the other lads, like you could see the nerves, and because obviously you're gonna be nervous. So I think I remember just starting that conversation with them and everybody then, because everyone was quite quiet at the start, and then once everybody kind of started talking, it was like everyone came alive, and
Aye.
it was cool. It was just such a class experience, um, with that whole thing. I think just getting on stage and doing your thing and coming off, and yeah, just big smile on your face, seeing everybody around you smiling, the guys that you've done it with, just having that kind of bond, and yeah, it's special. It is. It definitely is.
I think going into the first one as well, you don't even know if you're going to come out and say, "Oh, I actually really enjoyed that," or
Oh,
actually, nah, like,
yeah, that's so
maybe it's not
true.
for me.
Yep, exactly. So that was kind of I think even before that, I suppose I love the process. That was the whole, and again, I suppose that's what's going to make you actually keep doing it long term. Again, is enjoying every bit of it. The prep, the shows, after the shows, and your off season, everything. So I think, I suppose the shows, like we said earlier, like doing the actual season, it made me realize like, yes, this is what I want to do long term. But I suppose even before that, even before I'd actually stepped on stage, I was like, I want to keep doing this. This is
Yeah.
for me, kind of thing. So
I
yeah.
imagine if you didn't even enjoy competing, nothing will have changed. Like
Oh,
you'd still be
definitely not.
training, you'd still be doing your steps, you'd still be doing everything that a bodybuilder does, but you just wouldn't be actually getting on stage. And I think that's like kind of the difference between like you always hear people talking, it's like, do you need to step on stage and compete to be a bodybuilder? But I think like you can still be a bodybuilder, but then there's like competitive bodybuilders who
Yeah.
actually do
Yes.
compete. So I think even if you didn't enjoy it, you would still be bodybuilding, wouldn't you?
100%, 100%. I was actually thinking about that the other day, and can't remember. I was maybe listening to something, but it's because I was training. I was doing like everything for so long. Again with the rugby, I can't remember. Stopped that good few years back, but again, just because I fell in love with the gym and kind of that whole physique development, and just that, like, I suppose that aesthetic look, and I really just, yeah, I suppose fell in love with that. And the next stage was, obviously, like, I think because I did have that competitive background with the rugby, I was like, you know, what could I sort of do with this? Is, again, obviously then the natural bodybuilding scene. I was like, yeah, this is the next sort of stage.
Mhm.
It's going to give me that
I
extra.
I imagine like your story was very similar to mine, where you start playing
Okay.
rugby and you're like, I need to get bigger. And then you immediately look to like bodybuilders as to like how
Yep.
you should be training and getting bigger rather than like the S&C sort of side of things. And then you're
100%.
just like, I much prefer going to the gym compared to
Yep.
the playing part. Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Identical to me.
Exactly it. I suppose the S&C stuff as well, like it, because probably like trying to think, probably like 14, 15 when I suppose got like, I remember it was probably all squats
Yeah.
at that stage, really just for rugby. And again, I suppose that's when it really, the whole, yeah, training aspect and the love for that sort of, I suppose it helped that. And as I suppose the years went on, the more you develop and you kind of learn these movements and stuff, and yeah, that's sort of, yeah, where it comes from.
Who did you play for?
Carrick, just Carrickfergus,
All right.
rugby club,
Or the club? Oh, I wasn't
the
sure if it
club.
was the school or not.
Um, yeah, so no, played there since, geez, it was actually, again, I was thinking about this sort of the other day. It was early days of primary school, like when I started doing that
A
tag
long
rugby.
time. Yeah.
How
So
old are you as well?
what's that? Sorry,
How old are you?
25.
We probably played against each other. So I would have played for Lisburn.
Right. Definitely then. Probably more than
Back
likely
in the
did
day, yeah.
back in
Back
the
in the day.
day. I know because I'm not, yeah, right enough. Because I
Yeah.
see you play minis and stuff as
Played
well. Like,
minis and then played for friends. So
wow, very good. Very
mhm.
good. Yep, that probably
I'll
did.
look at the old photos and see if there's any against
Gonna
Cardiff,
have
and
to
then I'll
be
like be scooting for you in the background.
big to That's brilliant.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Imagine.
I know. So yeah, so no, it's I suppose, yeah, talking about the rugby and stuff, like coming through the rugby years as well, I was obviously like, I really, I always followed the old school guys, in bodybuilding, and as much as like I was fully obsessed and loved rugby, there was always that element of I wanted to look good, as well. So I suppose when you think about it, like that's, yeah, where it all kind of stemmed from as well. And you look at some of the rugby players as well that are like freaks and looked good,
Yeah.
so that sort of, yeah, I suppose that got the idea of then eventually then till now that I'm actually I competed then in bodybuilding. So yeah.
Good stuff. I'm gonna share my screen here just to bring up some of the shots, mate, as I go
Okay.
through. Hopefully you can see some of these on the screen, but I take it that's coming through all right, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously I think this was from, yeah, the first show, which I mentioned there. First place in your category. I think the shot's from the overall, isn't it?
It is indeed, mate. It is
Yeah.
indeed.
Um,
It's
so yeah,
Kieran,
mate, you
I don't think you're too far off this condition now.
oh, we're definitely putting some beef on now, which is nice.
we will get into that, but yeah, probably one of the I would say probably one of the best executions of a reverse diet in terms of probably
Madness.
adherence I've seen from you,
Appreciate
mate.
that, man.
You seem
Appreciate
to stay skinless for a very long time after the shows.
it. No,
But
thank you.
no, obviously you've David there, Max as well.
David won the overall, didn't he?
He
Yeah,
did. He
David did
did.
take it, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but no, mate, like a very good show, and obviously for your first time up there as well.
Thank you.
This
And
was MPC came to this one, didn't the Butcher? Or
Yes.
Noah,
It was
Noah
me,
and
me,
Finn.
Noah and Finn. Yeah.
Yeah,
class,
That
yeah,
was a
mate. I
pretty
mean,
good. That was like a good overall lineup. Like especially
that
when you
was,
consider like
yeah.
those boys came over from England. Like you had Max Dyson Brown come over,
Tom, yeah,
Pat
Yeah,
as
came
well.
over as well. So
it was
like
cool.
it was a small show in terms of like the actual numbers, but I think the standard was pretty good.
How much longer did Pat prep for after this show?
Well, he went to the WNBF Worlds, like so.
Just forever in prep, a year dieting.
That's right, because I was following it. He done quite a lot of shows, didn't
He
he?
He
did
done
double
so
figures.
many.
Like,
Like
yeah,
double.
because
That's mad.
I remember actually just looking at a lot of stuff there, I suppose, recently,
I
and
remember
yeah.
seeing him backstage as well, and he had just come back from Singapore or something
Wow.
like that. I was like, "What are you doing here, mate?"
Incredible.
Crazy. So that was obviously first show. Second show then, WNBF Ireland.
David
He took
again. Go
home.
away. Go away, David.
Um,
Oh, it was like his physique. It was, do you know what? I was so cool to be against a guy like, with that physique. He had
yeah, that's muscle.
he done
Yeah,
incredible, and him going on to the worlds and everything. It was and he's such a really nice guy as well.
yeah,
I actually got seeing him recently there. He was up at the compound room, James there. We're holding a couple of seminars, and so I got
came up
chatting
for it.
to him then. Yeah, he's crazy physique.
I mean, I think he's probably a good example as well of, I would imagine, I haven't spoke to him at length about this, and I'm sure we'll get him on, but
Oh,
I would
definitely.
imagine that he has just been training for years, and like with a physique like that, I'd imagine he's just been slogging away in the gym for years to compete as a novice, and then he just decided, I suppose I'll
Yep.
compete this year. Surely,
Mhm.
like, I
Big
mean,
time,
how the
big
hell
time.
you'd build legs like that? Like,
It's
the
crazy.
That's the
godliness.
thing with novice. It's like you never know who's going to show up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like
100%.
you can get anywhere from people like yourself, where it's your first time competing. You can
Yep,
get guys who have literally been in the shadows for about 5 years, and they're like, "Yeah, you know what? I look pretty good. I might step on stage now." So,
absolutely.
but the fact that you held
Absolutely.
your own so well against them, like, shows how good you actually were for a first timer.
I
Yeah.
appreciate
Like
that,
that's
mate.
ridiculous. Like,
I
Mate,
appreciate
that's
that.
mad. Your most musculars, I thought your most muscular was probably one of your best shots, to be fair.
Thank you, mate.
Every
Thank
time you
you.
hit it. But yeah, obviously second place in that show, mate. Any thoughts on that show in comparison to the PCA?
Oh, yeah, I suppose they all like every show came with something different. It's it's sort of hard to like compare, like 'cause they all, I suppose, yeah, offered something different. I think
Hmm.
these were, yeah, because these were a week apart, so it was, yeah, which I was quite cool that, because I think I took that kind of week off work as well, which
Hmm.
I needed I needed
Is a
to.
must.
Um, and I think I just, yeah, I suppose it was coming off the back of that PCA show, and then it was straight into like, right, let's go, next show here, straight in, training and stuff like that the next day or whatever. I was so just like, right, let's go. And then I suppose that being then down in Wexford,
Hmm.
it was the whole just again that sort of staying away aspect, and just yeah, be just living like a bodybuilder, competing. It was just I think I just loved every bit of that, down. You felt you were just prepping everything, and it's just everything I suppose that came with that. And yeah, the show itself, again, I really liked. So the WNBF was actually the first, was it? Yeah, it was the first natural show I went and watched last year.
Hmm. Oh, that's
And
right. I remember you were saying about
yeah,
going down to it, and then just
so
obviously saw
it's
you down.
big time. So it was sort of, yeah, I was, I suppose that was the cool thing about it. Actually then now I was the one going to be on stage. And again, I think one thing, well, there's loads of things obviously I really enjoyed about this, but being backstage was just incredible in all the shows. And for this one, I had such good crack as well before going on stage. It was the two girls that were backstage sort of getting everybody ready and that before going on, I think just chatting and um having a bit of crack and talking to some of the athletes. I was very, I suppose, compete after the first one at PCA, like yes, there was nerves, but I was just so like, yeah, quite calm and just collective coming into this one.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was again, I love that shot there. I mean,
Cracker.
he's a very nice guy. It was cool. That was cool. Sort of just doing that. So yeah, they all offered something different now, and WNBF Ireland was, yeah, again, I'll be competing in it obviously again.
Hmm.
I would just sort of give that sort of home kind of feeling as well. Just
Yeah.
it being sort of quite a small kind of setup and
Yeah, it's a bit of a smaller setup, and you can even tell, I
yeah,
think, whenever you're there, like obviously Finbar and Lil that run the WNBF Ireland, it is, although it's a big organization, it's almost kind of like a
yeah,
family run. It has that sort of vibe, doesn't it?
it does. Big time. Big time.
What is that venue like? Because I haven't been to WNBF Ireland yet. Or is it changed this year?
Well,
No, pretty
it'll
sure
be
it's still
the
going to be there.
same venue.
Yeah.
I would say, it's quite historic in that they've ran it there every single year, and it's also in the town of New Ross, which I believe is where they're based. I will be honest though, I think they're probably outgrowing it. I think they
Yeah,
maybe should
yeah.
consider moving to some, and I know they are considering maybe in the years ahead moving somewhere else. Because it is a little bit more sort of small, compact, and I feel bad using the word dingy, but it is kind of that kind of vibe, But it's still very, I think it's a good venue for the show at the same time.
You know what would be really cool if like they had something similar to the UK one where they ran like a first timers novice a little bit earlier in the year, and then they had like the big kind of open show, and maybe
Mm,
they kept
Yeah,
the first timers and novice one at this venue, and then moved the
that's
other one
quite
to a slightly bigger one. I think
yeah.
that would be good because like you could see like some of the classes were like really really big, and I know the classic boys walked on, and they
yeah,
couldn't even fit on stage.
it's
So
huge.
it's definitely growing in popularity, and I think the venue might need to kind of reflect that in the next couple of years. But yeah, I know I didn't get a chance to go backstage and see it or anything, but I know when we were sitting in the crowd, like pretty much every seat was filled. You know, it
Hmm.
was there
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of space for spectators. So I think they will kind of need to think about moving it in the next couple of years.
Next couple, yeah, for sure. Um, Next up then, mate, is this the video? No, that's your YouTube. These are the stage shots, I think, from PCA.
Yes.
This obviously is from the British finals, which was your next show after the
Yes.
WNBF Ireland. And yeah, second in Britain, second in your class. Um, was this show? I think this show's the one actually that I'm hoping to do this year. It is.
Very good.
Um,
Yes. Yes. That's
yeah.
right. I remember you saying
So
that.
obviously this was your first experience of going, probably getting on a plane to compete.
Yeah.
Although it's still in the UK, it's not too far. But yeah, how did you find that? And the whole
Yeah.
experience.
It was yeah, just again incredible. I think it's the whole just actually feeling like a so it's actually feeling like an athlete
Yeah.
as such. You've all your bits and pieces with you. You're getting on a plane, um, and all the preparation, obviously, for it. I think this one is probably like I really, really dug, uh, again, because for each show, so like obviously the plan was, when me and James were talking, like first one was to come in like, as he said, 90%. The second one was like 92%. Then
Mhm.
this one like 95% is, and then we were sort of saving like that 100% just like for the last show again Germany. So um for this one, so I can't remember the time or how many weeks it was between the WNBF Ireland and this. It could have been,
I think it was nearly a month, was it?
I think you're right. Yes, I think it was nearly a month. So yeah, there was still that bit more, condition I needed obviously to bring in is just, for this finals. And yeah, again, sort of my job as well. It's very, very physical. So
Hmm.
I remember like that sort of month, it was like, yeah, that was probably one of the toughest period I would say in terms of just everything. And I remember, sort of started to incorporate, a bit more like cardio and stuff. And then my work load, like with jobs being on the construction sites that I was on, it was getting very, very heavy.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot to battle, and I suppose you learn a lot as well, and that's the whole point. You're being first time, you take the data away and see how we can improve on this, and stuff. But I remember like just absolutely pinning the Stairmaster at one stage, and I was already like, I think like this is where, because I was after WNBF Ireland, my hamstrings and stuff were starting to real niggle, and I could feel it, but I think I was just that so
Yeah,
like,
look at that, most muscular, like, just wild.
Yeah, it's mad.
thank you lads. It's I love see this was like one of the biggest highlights as well. See going into that posing room, quite a lot, and just going through my routines, all the different poses. Like that's what made it very memorable as well. Um, but yeah, with going into that British finals, I remember just like with that hamstring sort of niggle coming up, I was just like, right, nothing stopped me. Like I was pinning the Stairmaster, and I remember coming off it. I could feel something, but I kept on going, and I think yeah, with that the sort of I really sort of I don't know what at that stage I'd done to my hamstring because it took for ages to recover, like the whole just shooting pains down my leg, and again like at that stage you're not recovering anyway,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, yeah.
with my
Hmm.
job like I was up and down like ladders and steps and stairs and carrying stuff like every day, so I suppose that wasn't adding to the mix, and I never really sort of spoke about this because much like because I don't complain, I just kind of right,
Yeah.
I just keep
Good way to
going.
be.
Like there's no point complaining, this has to be done. And I suppose in my mind as well I was like, you know you have to again you have to embrace the highs and lows. These things happen. You just have to get on with it and do the best you can to sort of get through. Um,
Do you think the job being so active was the hardest part of prep? Like when you really got into condition?
Big time, big time.
Yes.
It's yeah, because I suppose just the kind of line of work it was. There is no like there is no rest. You can't
Yeah.
again
Yeah.
when you're at these jobs on sites. It's just yeah, you have to.
Grit your
Yeah,
teeth and get on
it's
with it,
just
really.
yeah, pretty much, pretty
Yeah.
much. I suppose it's everybody. Everybody has different jobs, and it comes with different, obviously, difficulties and whatever. And yeah, that was the challenge, and I knew that was going to be difficult, and I suppose it was that I suppose injury with the hamstrings that probably made it that bit more just like because my like work again the travel like I was traveling an hour and a half sometimes maybe it got to 2 hours to work
Hmm.
early doors, and I think it was that compression sitting for so long and
Of
then
course.
getting
Yeah.
up and being
Hmm.
so then active and just yeah there was just it just wasn't recover
It's
whatsoever.
funny. I was in with Sam this week for a massage, and I was telling him
Yes.
that you were coming on, and the first thing he said was, "Oh yeah," because I mentioned that I do have a point on here to talk about, your hamstring
Mm.
and injury
Yeah.
and prep and how you dealt with
Yes.
that. And he said, "Oh yeah," like he literally said what you said. He did mention it once, like you're not the type of person to complain. You just kind of get on with things, you know. Um,
Definitely.
but he said
Definitely.
the same thing, you probably being stuck in a driving position for 2 hours a day, driving down to Dublin for work or to Dungannon or whatever you're doing.
Yes.
It's obviously not helping you either in that scenario.
Yeah. No, and it's just I suppose it's just one of them things. Like that's my job. That's my life.
Yeah.
It's sort of
Imagine, mate, you were on a site trying to complete a job and you just went, oh, here, mate, sorry, I can't actually do that today. I'm
I
like I'm
know.
for a
Stage
bodybuilding
lean.
show. Yeah,
This is it.
I'm
I'll
too
be
lean, mate. I'm too
yeah,
lean,
I'll be
like
just sacked. Where you
exactly.
go.
Yeah.
So
It is that thing, I think even I'm guilty of it at times, like when you're prepping and it's all you're thinking about every day whenever you're in that
oh
sort of
yeah,
robot mentality. And
big time. Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to almost give yourself a reality check and remember there are certain things, like,
100%.
for example, a job, which for most people, it's literally what controls their day-to-day, their life. Because at the end of the day, we all have to
100%.
make income to
Yeah,
even be
exactly.
able to afford to do all these shows and afford the food and gym
Massively.
memberships, whatever.
Yep.
Um, So
So
yeah,
no, that's again, I suppose that's one of the things you keep telling yourself, this job, yeah, it's funding you doing this, and uh yeah, it's one of the things you just, yeah, you have to get on with. It's just life.
it is a hobby at the end of the day,
I
you
was
know.
about to say, first of all, it's a hobby, but also people don't care that we're bodybuilders. Like
Yeah,
life doesn't revolve around us. We kind of need to just remember that we do this as a pastime that we
Yeah,
enjoy. And obviously, because of the nature of bodybuilding, it does kind of consume our life. But at the end of the day, it is just a hobby. We're not getting paid to do this. We have to have proper jobs. We have to do stuff
absolutely.
that maybe doesn't actually sort of correlate well with bodybuilding, but it's part of life, and we just have to crack on.
And then the other way
Definitely.
around, the judges aren't gonna um like let you off and not being paid or bringing your best physique if you say I've got an active job. Like
yeah.
worst days, you generally just have to, you're dealt the cards you're dealt and you have to get on with it and make it happen.
100%,
I was going to say, do you
100%.
think having an active job actually helps you get in condition a little bit more?
Do you know? Yes. So this is a that's I was actually gonna say there again. One of the things I kept, I suppose, telling myself, obviously the job, it's paying for me to do what I want to do, is a thing, and also, yeah, it's I kept saying to myself, this is actually output, this is like, that's what I kept saying, right. If I was up down flights of stairs, was welding, wiring, pulling cables in, whatever it was. Like I suppose it's maybe the way I am as well. I always, you know, try to get the positive out of everything, and that's why I kept on saying, this is good, this is more output, we can keep.
Every time you're going up a ladder, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
that's closer to one more glute line or
no,
something.
That's like another 5 minutes on the Stairmaster. Like,
no,
same thing.
this is it. It's sort of, yeah, it's one of them things because the more you sort of, I suppose, think too much about it, and complain and whatever, it's only going to eat away at you.
Yeah.
And it's, I suppose, like I said, I've always been like that. There's no point thinking about it too much because regardless of whatever, you are going to like in a prep, whatever your job is, there's like even guys, if you're in an office job or whatever, there's that whole mental, side of it, fatigue of doing stuff in your mind. Obviously, is about you've got the physical aspect. So yeah, there's there's so many different things to it. But I do, yeah, I suppose you could say it definitely being so active has hopefully helped give a couple more striations there.
You were doing like 20K steps, weren't you?
Yeah, would have been, yeah.
Yeah.
And around that is what, if I probably look back at my
Do you
average step
remember
count.
what your food sort of finished up at? I'm just thinking with how active you were, did it stay relatively in a good spot or?
Yeah, so I suppose like again end of January starting, like my food was like I cruised right up till like a couple of weeks out. Like with food, I think the foods were probably because I ended up jumping into like a photo shoot. You see, that must have been 8 weeks out or something. Just it was a friend of Edel at the compound room. She was doing like a tanning product, wanting to get into maybe like say bodybuilders, and like even then, I think my calories were like 3,000 odd,
Hmm.
and it wasn't till I suppose first kind of final weeks coming up to the first show that the maybe came down to the lower two thousands.
Hmm.
But coming up now to this the British finals there from that month, like it was depletion calories. We ended up going right down because we were just really wanting to bring that like
Get
crazy
everything
condition
off,
in.
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
remember getting, as low, the depletion calories were probably down around 1,600, like 1700 for a couple of weeks. And yeah, it was just that put me to that put me to the test, and that's what I wanted to feel. Like I was so just like ready for it, right? And I wanted to again, yeah, just test myself and see what I was capable of, mentally and physically as well. So that was cool. The
See, when calories came down, did you actually get any hungrier? Because I think at a stage you're as hungry as you're gonna get, and it's like there's no filling you.
Yeah, I think Again, everybody's different with this. I suppose I suppose like my job as well. I never really thought too much about it. I just
Really?
again like yeah, I like I suppose that's probably the way I am. I just like because I was just James he gave me the plan and whatever it was, I was like, this is what we're doing. Just
Yeah.
I just done it. I did again. I suppose I didn't really complain, and I know a lot of people like do find that hard, and it was obviously it was hard, but I didn't think about the food thing too much and just rolled with it because I knew this is what had to be done if I wanted to bring my best, and I suppose that's what kept on going in my mind, which helped a lot. I didn't want to make any errors and put that guilt I suppose onto me as well. As that's if that makes sense. So no, I never actually thought about it too much. And I suppose another thing as well with the food, I did learn to appreciate my food a lot more.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I definitely slowed eating down a lot more. Like
That's a
it's
good way to be though, because I find
yeah.
myself sometimes when I'm really looking a meal, like I'm shoving that into myself, and it stings you because you finished your
Yeah.
meal in 5 minutes, and you're like, "Fuck." That's what I
I
was
know.
looking forward to.
Definitely, like it's funny talk like being so I can actually envision it right now. The site I was on, I remember just sitting in the van. I was I remember being really like cold. I was just
Oh,
absolutely
mate, the
baltic,
cold is the worst part of being lean.
and I had about again this site was freezing because it was quite fresh. There was like no windows in the place, and luckily enough, it wasn't obviously like winter as such yet, but it was starting to kind of get there, and. Yeah, I remember just sitting with my oats in the van, like the heat blasted. Just,
Aye.
and I remember, like, again, it was such a small portion of oats, but oh, I savored that for like the 15 minutes, 20 minutes I had for my break. So, yeah, I suppose I slowed down my eating big time. And it's another thing as well. Like, see, even now, like the food's like very high. I'm still eating at the same pace. Like that hasn't changed, which is so like a meal that would take, very little time is now like taking me cuts of maybe half an hour when I have that time.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I'm at work, it's different, but yeah, it's
Mm.
kind of funny. Those wee things you do change.
So you didn't whip out the baby spoon or anything like
Oh,
that. You
just
Just what trying to think like
just kept yourself a bit mindful of the process and just slowed it down
yeah.
yourself.
Container wise, I suppose that's yes, it did change. That's one thing. Well, obviously, because there isn't that much happening
Hmm.
in the container, like. But there was suppose there was wee things that I did. Yeah, I think I changed the size of the bowl even more.
Aye.
What I got so it looked a lot more than what I suppose actually was another key thing that I done, but. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I do forget that I did change and to make my life kind of easier in a way.
Aye. Yeah. You have to, I think,
Yeah, definitely.
just to
It's
adjust and
important.
adapt it to the scenario you're in. Um, and then, yeah, mate, obviously that brings us towards the final show of the season for you, which was the WNBF, sorry, in Germany. Yeah, these shots here, mate, are crazy. Like that one, especially, just with the way the lights hitting you. But moving into that show, um, yeah, he placed in the top four, and um, there any shots here? Oh, that's probably them of the top three and yourself. So yeah, very good lineup out there, mate, as you would expect. Um,
Big time. It was yeah, some of the athletes were crazy.
Was
good.
there was there a couple of like international athletes, like as in like guys from like Spain or France or Portugal or something?
Yeah, so
Over.
it'd be actually cool. I don't even know if I could find it, but when I was looking at the my categories when it was announced, it was like from everywhere. I was like,
Yeah.
wow. It was so there was guys from like in my thing, if I can remember, obviously Germany, Spain. Remember a guy in my Finland. Actually, remember a guy, Poland, li literally
It was
everywhere.
almost like a little European championships,
That's
essentially.
exactly it. So yeah, that's why it was just. That's why I was just so looking forward to that because I was like, this is going to be experience you traveling and being up against all these guys from like all over the world. I think I actually could be wrong, but I'm near sure I'd maybe seen a guy said New Zealand as well on my,
That's wild.
which was yeah, it was just there was such a yeah variety of people from different countries, which was cool.
That does just like level up the experience, and you're like, everyone's coming from all over here to
Yeah,
compete.
yeah,
Mm.
big time. And I think it's yeah, you want you know you want to test yourself, and I suppose there's no better sort of show and opportunity to do that here. Again, oh, that was so cool seeing those
The
two
prayer.
guys, like experiencing the whole thing with them because James took them on. Uh, it was well, it was I think he took on Connor sort of during his kind of season, and then
Hmm.
against Chappelle came on board as well. So to go away and them be like involved in it was just it's sort of it's a bit surreal. Sort of
Yeah,
like uh, sometimes I'm like did I actually get
do
to do
that.
that with them guys and
It's
you
fucking
know
mad. Like when you consider that, like I stayed in the same hotel in Seattle for the
yes.
WNBF Worlds as Connor. Like
Very good. Yep. That's
crazy.
it's cool. It's just and you really look up to these guys and like everything was just always listening to some of the things they were saying and it was just yeah, it's just feel very, very again grateful for just having these people around you and being involved in it all.
I did watch this video as well at the time, which I thought was class. Um, but yeah, mate, that show in general, would you say that just felt like levels above the other ones, in terms of just the competitor experience,
I mean,
Yeah,
look
I
at that,
suppose.
like the fucking smoke
production?
and everything. They've got the White Dragon Ultra people.
Oh yeah,
Oh, there we go.
that's what we like to see.
I was yeah, there's a wee in that wee town, there's yeah, a bakery like across the road and
Class.
it was funny the first day we got there, I was like me and Adele were like, oh that's the one. So
Am I
she
right
went
in
over
saying,
and got it for me.
am I right in saying you had a cheeky pint post show as well?
Yeah, so that was
Quality.
um
Period. That.
that's when we went into Munich. So it was after. So yeah, I suppose like that this show was just again it was the whole experience was just something special. And one thing like I always say, like competing and whatever your place and whatever is, the actual prize, the itself was like the memories was the people I actually shared it with like that was my prize that's what I always
Yeah.
and I kept saying and to James and discussing that like sitting around the table after some of the shows and having your food
Having
and
your
whatever
time.
it was just like that was the pinnacle for me
Yeah.
and what made it so but yeah,
Um,
coming in like with this here show again, it's just it's like I'll never forget this. That was just the ultimate. I think the wee town itself it was in. It was, do you know, I'm not even gonna attempt to
Pronounce it.
pronounce it. It's like
German's difficult.
Wolver something heist. I have no idea.
You have to stick an
But
accent on as well when
oh,
you
you
speak
do,
German.
you
You can't
do.
just say it normally.
No, it's so I suppose going to it, it was real just it was so quiet. The place was just I got there and it was real just traditional and the apartment and everything we stayed in, it was actually the same apartment that James stayed in when he went and won the uh when he competed against at
Dark.
WNBF, yeah, against Dirk and stuff. So
Remember that?
when he
Yeah.
had won that show, so that was really cool. It was the exact same apartment and everything, and um, again, just I think sharing that moment with James and Edel, like they've just again to mention like they've like sort of the friendship I've made with them and what they have done and seeing how they operate is just it was just nuts. Honestly, like they're such incredible people, like and what they've done, like not only for myself, but like just everybody, the
Mm.
athletes and even seeing in the gym and everything, like the people involved, just the regular gym goers, like it's just incredible. And that's why I feel very sort of lucky to be, I have them as, not only as my friends, but as coaches as well, and navigating me through this whole process and to experience it all with them. So
Absolutely.
yeah, but no, in this wee town, it was so cool. I remember the show day, waking up, there was these bells that went off like a wee church. So that's kind of like what woke me up that morning. I remember just going out to the balcony and I just remember standing there going with my coffee, like this is just class.
Could you imagine being in a little town in Germany and just seeing a load of fellas walking around and gasp, oversized
Uh,
baggy gasp? That'd be class. All
Big
lined up
time.
in the
Peak.
bakery.
Uh, that's because it's funny because I went in obviously to the bakery all tanned up and there was one girl that served me. She obviously because that's where the show's been held. And I remember her just looking at me like really weird, like and I was so I kind of explained to her, and she was like, "I never knew this was going on, and this even happened." Like she was
Aye.
just so amazed.
Taken aback by it.
Do you
Big
remember what
time.
that pastry was? Yeah.
What's that? Sorry.
Do you remember what that pastry was you had there?
It was a what was it? An almond sort of
Croissant,
chocolate.
was it?
Uh,
Caramel.
yeah, croissant. So it was. So yeah,
Good
just
choice. I have
just
to say,
incredible.
like, I'm not usually a beer person, but I think if I was in that scenario, I would have definitely had to have a pint, like
Yeah.
A proper German pint
Oh,
post show,
it
like.
was absolutely because again, so when the show and all was done, I think like for this show again, I had no after the British finals, I feel as if like I was so just like there's the wee bit of sort of self-doubt I suppose came in, and I was like really like I just wanted to I put a bit more maybe pressure on me in terms of like I wanted to do everybody proud. I wanted to
Hmm.
kind of put that pressure on me, but um again like James, he always just made me learn to like, build that confidence, I suppose, as such, because I knew I'd done absolutely everything I possibly could. But again, it's sort of, I suppose that's just me, the way I think. It's sort of, you're always working on that and trying to like tell yourself, you you do deserve to be kind of on that stage. I was trying to get that into my head, I
Aye,
suppose, as
yeah,
well. And with the Germany show, yeah, again, I suppose the enjoyment. I just felt everything felt just right. I'd done absolutely everything. There's no expectations. I knew like I was going into again some of these incredible physiques, and again like coming back to that thing of being present. Just kept on telling myself, literally, just look around you. You know, see what's going on,
yeah,
kind of thing. So I got on stage, and I remember just coming up hitting like that front lat spread, and just looking around and going. Like this is just class. I'm up
yeah,
against such class physiques here. I'm in Germany, and a pinnacle for that moment was probably looking down and seeing James and Edel, smiling their face. I was just smiling, and
aye,
like you were just rinsed. Like the rounds of posing was a next level up as well. Like I was on the stage for obviously a lot longer, and the guy Max, he's the president of and again he was on the microphone, he was just rinsing us, and that was a step up again
yeah.
in terms
How long were you
in
on
terms of
stage
posing.
for? Do you remember?
Was it maybe 40 minutes or something? Maybe the
Yeah.
times were whatever.
Oh, that's brutal.
Or so I'm trying to think of the time slots. It was maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that, maybe. And then obviously he came off and top five done the routines and whatever. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, so it was just again, I just came alive, and coming into that show, because I dug really hard for the British finals. Our goal was to like freshen the physique up while obviously still bringing that extra condition in, which yeah, it was nice. It was cool, sort of coming in. So
See,
Yeah.
Ram, do you want to pull up the last check-in that he's got up?
The most recent one.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah.
had it right,
Okay.
right there. Yeah, look at that,
So,
wild.
yeah. Yeah, mate, I suppose that, I mean, that kind of rounds off your, we'll get into that, but that kind of rounds off your actual competitive accolades. I think as well, worth
Yes.
mentioning, you've talked about James and Edel there. You were also voted the Compound Room Male Athlete of the Year last year as well, which I suppose is pretty special that considering you primarily train out of Arkham due to logistics, don't you? So,
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was that was just again, it's sort of being part of that team, that compound room team was just it was very special. Uh Again, just like the people involved and seeing James and Edel what they've built was just it's incredible. I feel like sort of talking about the people you meet, the community and everything about
Oh,
that,
look at that,
Oh, that was yes.
the
Have a
black
wee pint of
custard.
Guinness.
very good.
Yeah, it's just being part of that team was very special because you hear you speak about everybody says, "Oh, bodybuilding, it's so on your own." It's completely not, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just and you know it's and again just being part of this team just made it so special.
Yeah. I
And
think I think out of that gym as well, it is a bit different. Like the compound room is very like tight knit, even as a gym. It's kind of hard to describe, but if you've trained in it before, you'll know.
yeah,
Like it was even the same for myself. Like obviously, I primarily trained out of the dock in 2023, but James
yes,
would still have, James and Edel would still have reposted all of my, training clips, all the rest of it, and still obviously, even shared my physique shots.
brilliant.
Which it,
Yeah.
it, it is really, really cool. The support network you have in there.
No, absolutely. It's and I think for me, like also to bring up is especially at this awards night, it was seeing the actual like outside bodybuilding. It was actually seeing the stories of all the other um
Mm,
guys, just their transformations and stuff. And I think that's another thing which I really enjoyed and was interested in. Speaking to some of the guys back even backstage, and that it was seeing everybody's and yeah. I suppose seeing and being involved in some other people's journeys and how they got there, and I was just so interested in that. That was one thing I was just really fascinated about, like how people navigated their own life struggles and whatever to get the stage. I was just so yeah. So that was another cool thing.
very good. But no, great stuff, mate. Obviously, a fantastic first season in the sport, and
Thank you very much,
I'm
sir.
glad to hear. Obviously, I knew that was kind of the case anyway, but it's certainly cemented to yourself. This is what you want to do, certainly going forward. Um,
Definitely, definitely. I think it's just again, it's the same as yourselves. It's just it's something that regardless competing or not, you want to be better, physique, your work, whatever it is, and
It all
just
correlates as well when you're
it
progressing
does.
bodybuilding. I feel like you're always gonna end up in a better spot in life.
yeah,
Yeah, massively. So I think it's just that whole, isn't it? Just that journey adventure of just each week, each year, just constantly trying to right what else, how much more tissue can I pack on here in these different spots and everything, yeah, like you said, that comes with it, and in life as such.
it's
It's
funny.
just that
Like,
constant
yeah,
progression.
you probably for all four of us, probably if you say, for example, you just didn't enjoy training anymore, which seems so like ridiculous, but I actually don't know what I would do with myself. Like it would just totally change things.
Yeah.
Because my mentality, and I'm sure it's the same, of course it is for all of us. It's just that you're just constantly thinking about how to improve.
Mhm.
And
Just
it does lend itself so
having a
well.
purpose to your day. Like a
Yeah,
lot of people just coast
Big
through
time.
every single day, and I couldn't imagine it.
Yeah, it's sort of because I know it's and again I suppose like a lot of you guys are all coaches, so because like that's the way, we feel, and you wanna, because there is so many people out there that are kind of like sort of lost in a way and do struggle to have that sort of sense of purpose, because that's how we feel. It's trying to then, get people to feel the same way as such,
Yeah,
and everybody picks that up differently. So yeah, that's a good point.
absolutely. So I wanted to bring us on to the next point, which Jake's kind of foreshadowed there. Obviously your reverse, with I suppose it also kind of links into what I was saying there. I think it depends really if you're coming out of a prep and you're immediately thinking, this is what I want to do. I want to handle my reverse properly so that I
Yes,
don't take the piss here, and I can also set myself up for a good off season to then, think about the next competitive season, even if it is years away.
absolutely.
Mate, this was 7 weeks post show, and you were still pretty skinless here. How did you find the post show phase, like navigating that, like maybe losing that goal of the stage, and all of a sudden you're thinking about, next getting on stage in 2 years' time.
Yeah,
You find it
yeah,
hard sticking to the diet, or maybe, even after Germany, having a beer, having a hot dog, whatever it is, and then just
yeah.
getting back home. Did you find it hard to get back into that sort of?
Do you know what? I think I was so because I think my main thing after it, so I was just like, especially sort of the hamstring and stuff. I think because I was like my training performance, especially like yeah with legs and stuff, sort of went down. I was like, I was just so ready to like get my training performance on point again. I think that's what really, and thanks to James, like we always, I think having that plan is so important. Obviously, I, but it was straight after. I was like, again, it was coming back to bodybuilding or not. Like I love my routine. I love training. So that's that's what really, when I got back to sort of normality, I was just like, I'm actually enjoying here, being back to routine, just like ghost mode, just in the gym, headphones on, just doing my thing. So, and with the nutrition side of things, I suppose, because I enjoyed myself in Munich. Like that was, again, that was just incredible. All the food, the different foods, and plenty of beer, and all that was consumed. I suppose coming back then, I was ready. I was just ready for the recovery phase. And again, I don't overthink things. I kind of just do follow what has to be done. And I know a lot of people like it is very difficult, but I just get on with it. I didn't really overthink. It's like this is how many calories you're having this week. I kind of just done it.
Yeah. This
Sort
is
of
giving me
thing.
a laugh here. 9 weeks post show, more like 9 days out. Did you forget to eat over the Christmas
Oh,
period?
sorry. Brilliant.
I take it you
Brilliant.
did have a Christmas dinner and all, and you still enjoyed
Oh,
yourself.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's yeah, Christmas Day and Boxing Day was yeah, a lot of calories were definitely consumed. I definitely did switch off.
Mhm.
Um and I suppose that's another thing that I'm learning and will continue to learn. Same for a lot of people. It's knowing when to switch on and switch off. Um Again, it was actually that one of the seminars that I was at, Andrew Chappelle was talking about his nutrition things. It was called Meeting in the Middle.
Mhm.
So talked about, coming into that off season, you have that bit more flexibility. And I suppose coming out of finishing the season for quite some time, I probably did find it hard to like switch off as such. That's why I was so accurate still and so,
Aye.
yeah, just on top of everything to do it right. And maybe I suppose I could have maybe switched off. I definitely could have switched off a bit more than probably what I did as such. And I suppose that's just me. Yeah, I like to just kind of follow
Like
what needs to be done. But
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a learning curve, I suppose, knowing when to switch on, switch off, and which it's important. So, and again, we had sort of talked about that, especially coming in the off season. I'm sure you guys are the same, learning that, when there is the social events and there's stuff coming up, you need to make sure you do go to these things and prioritize time with, your family, your friends, and again, those events. And because, again, while still making progress, like all these things can be done. And like, you don't want to consume yourself so much with bodybuilding. Like you need to have other things going on, obviously, as
Yeah,
well. Like
of course.
and you don't want to be boring, obviously, as well. You need to have these other different, like maybe hobbies or interests or stuff like that. Again, if you want to obviously be in this in the long game.
Some people really have
So
nothing going for them outside of their bodybuilding, and it
yeah.
makes them just they're just not as good of a person to be around, I think.
Oh, massively. Yep, definitely. I completely agree. It's just yeah, because just having those different things going on, hobbies, interests, and
Like I wouldn't in work probably wouldn't get a brilliant conversation out of me, but see if you brought up like a movie or something, like I'll stand
oh
talking to you for
yeah,
an hour. It's just having something about you. But some people
having something
generally
about you, mate. Yeah,
have nothing. If it's not one of their 5 meals, it's not their training session, it's not posing, they don't care and they've generally just they're a shell.
yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Completely agree. And like, yeah, it's cool. And I'll have to have a big conversation with you off this as well about Japan.
Oh mate, unreal.
Just because listening to that, because again, I definitely all for doing a solo travel at some stage. So yeah, like that's again travel something I want to do plenty of. So it's
Japan is the place for it. Do it solo. Just sticking yourself on the other side of the world on your own.
that's big, mate. Like that's yeah, that's it's not
Yeah,
just some wee European city somewhere. Like
yeah.
it's
I haven't even been to England on my own yet. I'm
wow,
scared to
Send to
learn
Japan first.
right in the deep
scared
end.
to do the trains in England by myself, but now I'll just hop on the Yamanote line
Just
here.
yeah.
Oh well.
No,
Um,
fair play to you. It's cool. It's very good, mate.
I
Now we'll get
wanted
talking. We'll plan your trip. Get the full itinerary laid out.
Absolutely, no better man for it.
good stuff. I wanted to touch back again on the injury, Kieran. Just because
Yes.
obviously you've mentioned it here in this post. Is it still something that you're working around now, and you and James have maybe put a few things in place to try and mitigate, or
Yeah, so thankfully now the hamstrings have made such a difference. That was a new wee one actually. That was the new one. Yeah, like because I've been a pretty injury free, thank God. It was actually that one with my ribs, so that one of your like obviously it was one of it must have been intercostal muscles. I was
hmm
whatever way I was bracing or doing something. I was eating my post workout meal and I could feel this like around my heart. I was like, is this heartburn or something? And the next day I couldn't like breathe. It was just catching my breath. But that sort of went away after a week. So that was my first kind of, I suppose, week that I've had to auto regulate as such, like recently there. But with the hamstring, so obviously the whole point, like after coming in that recovery phase, you want to get in calories up to a nice point and get a nice rate of gain, get body fat levels back up again. A lot of the movements that were incorporated were obviously, especially in the hamstrings, were solely towards building them back up again. There was a lot of like I remember some Malayan hamstring curls, like the negatives were like extremely, extremely slow. Like there was a lot of, this so I was incorporating stuff like that. Again, you can see the Bulgarian split squats with the barbell there. Um, I'd got back in place, which I think really, really helped that sort of whole like glute, yeah, and hamstrings as well. And there's a few other movements again that really, really helped. And
do you think it happened to you on the Stairmaster, or do you remember when it actually like you felt something go, or
it was it was sort of slowly creeping up, I remember. Like, and because I remember after WNBF Ireland, um again, just partly a lot of that again with work and stuff. I don't actually know what the sole cause, but my output being so high and me just being probably me, like digging like absolute mad on that probably Stairmaster. I remember a couple of weeks coming off it. I yeah, I suppose it's a learning curve as well, knowing maybe when like not to I hopped back on it again when I was in bits because I was like, no, I need to, like to keep going. Is yeah, something I suppose it's hard to like actually know where how
Where
I
it
did
happened.
injure myself with the hamstrings, but there's a lot of factors that
Yeah.
that didn't help that. So
And it kind of just remained an issue until until
yeah,
prep wrapped up and
pretty much
even
yeah,
beyond that.
just big time. And shout out again to Big Sam Dando. He was the man to sort of help as well with that whole
Of course.
the
Yeah.
whole thing as well. So and you I guess you used them quite a bit, didn't you,
Yeah, yeah.
your last
100%. With
season
the
as
whole
well?
prep give back thing
So
and
yeah.
how you
That's right,
ramped
you've
up.
jumped onto that, haven't you, for this?
Yeah, this year. I had to make
Last
sure to get in early because
Oh,
rightly
definitely.
so, I think he's starting to clamp down on the number of people he can actually offer it to because he's doing himself out of money, which
Absolutely.
makes sense.
No. What a guy. Just yeah. Again, that's another real good friend I've met throughout this whole thing as well, and couldn't have been more helpful, getting me in on those days.
100%. Um, so I think one thing I did want to touch on as well, just before we maybe move on to some questions that we've got. Um,
100%.
how long have you been with James now, and what kind of led you to even inquiring with James in the first place?
Yeah, so it would have been uh is it March, April of let me think.
Was he your first coach as well?
He
Sorry.
was my first, yeah, he was my first coach. Yeah.
Great.
So, yeah, it was kind of, again, it was something that I always, natural bodybuilding was something for was quite a long time again, I always kind of thought about doing. And like, so I started off in Valhalla, gym
Hmm.
in Carrick when it was like real old school. Like there was a lot of big guys just like about that place. And I just loved that, and I remember actually training with this older man who had actually done a bit of natural bodybuilding in it back in his day, and I suppose I'd say he was a big part to play in me falling in love with it. And so anyway, as the kind of years went on, I was kind of like, when I suppose I was kind of like looking for a coach in a way, and I remember coming across. So I remember going looking at different gyms and going, oh, I'm going to try. I'd love to just go for a session here and there. And I remember finding the compound room and just looking up gyms to go and train at, really.
Hmm.
And so I remember seeing it, and I remember seeing some of the photos of some. I think it was some of the older clients. It was probably like the guy Dave Driscoll and stuff. I remember maybe seeing, and then yeah, so that passed anyway, and I when it was so what I would have been 24 then, would it have been that I 24 and then I 20 I just March, April time, whatever. Is when I was like, yeah, I wanna like actually start this. I need to like I don't want to let another year kind of go by, in terms of like wanting to eventually compete. So I suppose in my mind, I kind of knew of the compound room and seen maybe because again, James wasn't never really big on social media or anything either,
Yeah.
compared to a lot of coaches out there. Because we've had this conversation. He's asked me like, how did you find and why did I pick him? And yeah, so again, I'm probably looking up, seeing those photos, and then I came across James's page, and it was one of those things like I I sort of it's quite hard to explain. I find this quite hard to sort of explain to him as well. Like I just kind of know when you just kind of know and have a good feeling about something.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was. I seen James's like page, and there wasn't obviously that much kind of suppose on it. He wasn't that active, and but I had seen what he had done himself, obviously, in bodybuilding, and I could just tell like this guy, the experience, the knowledge he'll have is just yeah gonna it'll just I could just tell, and
yeah,
that's why then I had a good feeling about it and knew that kind of knew before I went into the call that
you were gonna go with him.
I kind of was yeah I was going to go with him, and it was that initial then first call when I reached out to him, the kind of words, that conversation, I knew straight away like that's like I really want this guy to I want to work with him. And we had the conversation, we came off the call, he just said, you go away, whatever, and have a think about it, get it in touch, and yeah, we went from there. So it was just, yeah, and again, the relationship we've built, I've made an absolute great friend, as well out of it, and I'm just, yeah, excited, I suppose, to see over these next lot of years, however long I last within the bodybuilding industry. Yeah, what we can sort of
Natural.
achieve.
You're competing forever. There's no
Yeah,
limit.
well,
Yeah,
this is
you'll
it.
be
Yeah,
competing up the
I,
Masters, mate.
absolutely. As long as I can keep going. Yep. We'll see how
Good
long that
stuff.
lasts.
Was the sort of, the fact that he's maybe, local, like in comparison to me with my coach, I'd have to get in a plane to go over and see AJ. Same with Matt with Tim.
Yep.
Was James being local a factor or anything? And
I suppose, yeah.
did you think on prep, like actually, getting down to the gym and letting him see you, do you think that made a big difference?
Big time, big time. I think, yeah, so part of like I said, they're obviously no one, and it just like telling, like when someone's just a genuine good person as well. With that aspect, him just being in Lisbon, that was, yeah, that was definitely in my head. Knowing that if there's somebody, yeah, that I can literally just go up the road and get coached by, that that was, yeah, I suppose that when I initially reached out to him was part of the reason
Hmm.
also. And like, I suppose going, yeah, through this whole prep, those posing, going up for posing and everything with that, just I suppose it just made that actually touch as
Yeah.
well to it all, and how, again, like I said, how we've built such a great friendship as well. So yeah,
The
that
posing
definitely.
workshops are good and he does wee things like that, which
Yeah, big time, big time. I think it's just, yeah, it's the attention to detail and everything, and just how much, yeah, the effort and care he puts into each athlete, which makes it, yeah, special.
good stuff. Yeah, no, hopefully I'll be getting involved this year as well, obviously in the
Nice,
workshops and stuff.
nice.
I just think they're good to even, have something, get the even those open doors, like as far as like
Yeah,
meeting people and different things go. Um
100%. Especially when you're in that sort of suppose tunnel vision and being around other guys who the same. It definitely it brings you up. If you
100%.
have a tough week, you get this stage like, oh, this is getting a bit tight, but then you do get a new lease of life when you talk to the
Mm-hmm.
boys as well. So,
I remember going to one. It was actually the first time I met Connor McGarry. Was at a
yes,
uh, compound room posing workshop. I think he was still being coached by Bob Waterhouse at the time, so he wasn't even being coached by James.
very good.
Um,
Yes,
and then I think I did one of them with Sam as well. And I remember being on my absolute ass that week. Like it was like a bad week as far as like felt like I was digging. And then I
yes,
went and the entire posing workshop, Sam was like, mate, like you look nuts. And I remember thinking like, all right, sick. Like it's good to know, like, I have actually made some steps forwards. Somebody else is seeing it, and you're right, it
absolutely.
does bring you up a couple of levels.
Big time, big time. It is. No, it's definitely important. definitely important. It's just all that wee factors, yeah, do really make a difference. Have you all been? I guess Matthew, you've been up. I think I
I
remember
went.
seeing photos in the past as
Um,
well.
I was
Um,
2022 when I went, so I'm trying to think
Yes,
who all was there. There was Stephen Brennan was there, Dando was there, and a couple other boys, a couple of the older ones. I can't remember their
very
names,
good.
but they've
Yes,
competed a few times. But mate, that posing workshop, that was like my first time properly posing. That's where I learned like
brilliant. Yes,
the foundations. So it was so
class.
beneficial.
That's
Um,
amazing. You're doing incredible now too
mate,
as
I
well.
wouldn't be here posing coaching if I'd never gone to that first one. So
Brilliant. That's cool.
um,
That's
yeah, it
cool.
was good. It was really beneficial. I'd recommend people go to that because even if you do know what you're doing, like sometimes it's just nice to get like a second opinion, but also
Oh,
just to go like
definitely.
round after round. Because I remember holding those poses for a good while. Because if there's like
Yeah.
six or seven, eight people, mate, I nearly did a wee 6 7. Let's say about eight people. You'd be holding that pose and you've got James in front of you, and just having
Yeah.
somebody there, having that accountability, it makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm.
Just the competitive side of it as well, I think. Like especially if
Yeah.
it's early on in the season. For me, like being a first
Yeah.
timer, I was doing rounds like, but I was a bit like, oh, like, I'll do like maybe it's not like I'm sitting in my head with a timer going off 5 seconds each pose. Whereas like
Yes.
whenever James was putting you through rounds, you were kind of thinking like, oh, I want to be first in, last out,
Yep.
following all his instructions to a
Oh,
T.
it's so true. Yeah.
Um,
Big time. Big time.
I think it does
It's
help elevate things.
yeah. No, you're actually posing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's any. I swear I've seen a photo of that, Matt, of that seminar you were at, and you look about 10 years younger
Mate,
than
look
you
like a
are right now.
child, an
Yeah,
absolute child. You'd have to go scrolling deep. I think it would have been 2022.
yeah,
That's
you have to go
brilliant.
pretty far back. I'll see if I can find it here, but um, yeah, mate, obviously, I know as well, James is very big on the posing fitness and, that's and drilling rounds and all the rest of it. Um, he obviously had a pretty similar influence on me in 2023. And I would say you were maybe put through more rounds in Germany because you were obviously placing in the top four. I placed just outside the top five in the world at Worlds, but
Yes.
I was on
Yes.
stage for about 40 minutes.
Yep.
Did you find it kind of the same sort of moment where after you came off stage, you were like, holy fuck, like thank God I did so much posing and I
Oh,
did actually put as much effort into it as
massively.
I did?
Massively. For like so many reasons. For first of all, enjoyment. Um, you know, like because if I didn't, practice and put this, like you'd be as hard as it is, you don't want to make it like extremely, extremely hard where you're like, you're
Yeah.
shaking, it's just, and you end up like ruining the enjoyment aspect. And again, obviously to be competitive,
Mhm.
and posing to be able to show off your physique, as best as you possibly can, um, as well. So no, like, yeah, definitely because that Germany show being just another level. I was very, very thankful that and glad that, yeah, with James and my own time that I put in the reps, and yeah, it's so important, and it's always something you can keep on doing and progressing and seeing what again sort of with the posing routine as well. Another thing probably to mention, like what I find really cool about the posing is, seeing what suits your physique as well. Like, because there's some poses that maybe go, oh, it doesn't look so good, and but there's other poses you're like, oh yes, like that hits
Mhm.
this, that's a spot. So, but no, definitely doing those hard rounds, and yeah, it's especially when you're depleted is definitely important.
100%. Will we get into some questions, guys? Um,
you two put the box up. I didn't
yeah.
box up.
Matt, do you want to go first?
Yeah, we've covered a couple of these, but it's just good to just
Okay.
touch on them again.
Back through, 100%.
So Amel Natural, favorite show from last year.
So again, obviously each show had something different, something special. So it's sort of like it would be hard to say, what my favorite one was, but again, I have to say like Germany, just I suppose ending that off. I think it was not only the competing aspect of it all, but that sort of the days after,
The experience of
the
the whole
experience
of like traveling over there, getting to spend post show in Germany. Like
definitely, and
it feels like more like a trip rather than you just going to a venue and stepping
big
on.
time, big time. And I think again, like I said, the prize, the wins of it all was sharing it with those people that were there with me. So like Germany after the show, I was kind of like it was sort of a pinch me moment, sitting in the balcony of that apartment with James and Andrew Chappelle and Edel, and like we're having cigars, we're having whiskey. I was like, is this actually happening, sort of thing. So yeah, that show, just because there was so much like special moments that happened, and same small, but yeah, that if I have to say one, yeah, that would be it.
Good stuff. Well, I go next. Um, I have one from Carter here. I've got two actually. One's a bit funnier. Carter Moore, top embarrassing gym moments or phases that we've all went through.
Oh Jesus, that's I think about that one. Uh,
I was
Embarrassing.
telling you about this recently when I was hanging on the pull-up bar trying to stretch my lower back and I passed out. Woke up in just a heap of shite on the deadlift platform. Anyone see that?
Yeah,
But
uh,
that is pretty.
brilliant.
that was up there. I was like, I was a bit squandered. I was like, fuck, that actually happened.
Yeah.
I'd probably say tights. Wearing tights
No
under
shorts,
shorts.
just or just
I first started off with tights with the wee short, like shorts over it, and then I graduated to no shorts.
yeah,
And
that's
sometimes I still, well, I don't think he does it anymore, but Andres used to do it flat out. Um, yeah, like that was a pretty embarrassing one looking back. A close second is maybe the clown trousers, the
Thanks, Jason.
bodybuilding pants that are like outrageous in color. Like, have any of you seen Kuba's posts the last couple of days with the yellow ones he's had on?
uh,
Oh, they're not
bad.
great. Like, I looked at them and was like, who's choosing to wear these? Like, they're like yellow and black striped trousers the whole way down. But yeah, those would probably be mine.
I'm trying to, yeah, there probably is so many. I think if the brain, what sort of comes to mind? I just remember getting absolute, um, yeah, I just remember getting absolute slab or two when I suppose first joined that kind of a hala gym. I think I remember coming, was it after maybe a rugby session or something? And I was wearing these like really, yeah, I suppose again small shorts, and I had like these to the tight kind of thermal kind of what do you call them, trousers on, and if you just have to see probably the way it did look, and all these big old school bodybuilders. I remember them
Taking
just
piss out of it.
absolutely ripping the absolute piss out of me. So that's probably one, yeah, embarrassing kind of maybe moment as such from the gym. But there's probably plenty more. I just can't think off the top of my head.
I think we've
Um,
all probably been pinned on a couple of machines and couldn't get out.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
That'll be up there.
That
that
me
me
with
the
me
other
on
yeah,
night.
the press recently.
The hip
on
press.
that
Oh mate,
platform.
yeah, you were shouting my name.
You had
I
your
had
AirPods
my
in, you couldn't
headphones
hear.
and couldn't hear.
Matthew.
Butcher,
Butcher.
help!
To be
Yeah.
fair, I had a few people reply to that story of me on the Arsenal
The
the other night
Arsenal.
going, good save, but the way you got out of that's hectic. And I was just like, well, yeah, I know, but literally, like, just had to pull yourself to the side.
I was laughing at that. I was just because I think it's the way you sort of sat on it sideways and kind of like look round.
It's always that whenever yeah, you're kind of
Yeah,
looking
I've had
around like,
plenty
did
of them.
anybody see that?
Yep, yep. That's yeah, I suppose that's a good one. I've plenty of them that you just kind of look around and go, who's looking there? And then you kind of shake it off, do a wee lap, come back again.
I remember one time, see, well, I've dropped a plate on my foot, but that wasn't really embarrassing. That was just kind of like, fuck, why have I done that?
Yeah.
But I do remember, like, when I first started training, science, like I didn't understand science. So if there was like I put three plates on a side for a deadlift or a like a barbell row, so it was up on the thing. If I put three plates on each side, it didn't quite clock in my head that I would maybe take one off each side rather than just unloading one side
Yes.
first. So
Yes.
unloaded one side, and of course the barbell went flying up in the
Oh,
air.
yep.
Was this in the dock?
No, no, this was back in Elite in Lisburn. And luckily there wasn't too many people, but even just that racket and then the barbell flying about and just kind of like can't really shake that one off.
That's happened to myself thinking about that. Yep. That's another one. No, I think we've all, it's funny. I think everybody experiences the same sort of, yeah, things, don't they?
Yeah.
Through the years and things you do wrong.
There's only one way to learn.
Ah, this is it. This is it.
Um, Matt,
I've got two from Shay. One you've kind of covered, the most enjoyable thing about WNBF Germany show, probably that
Mm.
post show, the
Yeah,
whole trip. Yeah.
definitely.
Um,
Definitely.
and the other one from Shay is, does Ciaran remember his most hard day at work during prep?
It's funny, he, because it was sort of the back end as well. So there was this one particular building. I think I put a few stories up, and he he actually commented one day I was up on it because again I was just covered up to the absolute max, so
Yeah.
many layers. Just you seen this wee just face because I had like a big woolly hat on and one of them. Oh, what do you
Nude.
call them?
Like the
Yeah,
suit things, I
yeah, one of them. So you just in the face and everything was obviously sunk in, and I think I put it up, and he he messaged me going, what did he say? It was like having or he was hitting legs or something that day, and he was like he wasn't up for it, and then he just he says, "But I realized that you're on top of a building at like minus whatever." So yeah, there was a couple of moments, yeah, obviously, hard moments again. That this particular building site that I was on in Dungannon, it was that just up and down them steps all day and ladders and pulling cables in and just yeah, just everything that sort of came with that job. It was there was a few challenging moments as such, but again, just had to get on with. There was no point complaining.
just suck it up.
complaining about it.
Suck it
Yeah.
up. Exactly. Nobody else cares.
Who cares?
Nobody cares, work harder.
That's a quote.
Um, Very good. Um, Suppose I'll ask this second one from Carter then. Oh, Christ. Top two worst trims you've had. Well, for me, I would
Well,
say undoubtedly the 2023 competitive trim wasn't great looking back, but there was again, I'll defend myself there, in fact, I'm not even gonna get into it. But yeah, there was a reason for that haircut. And then the second one would be uh oh God. I'll see if I can find a photo for a podcast.
Oh yes.
I don't need a top two. My hair went from that to just growing it all out. So this was
That's
the
What a
pencil
legend.
line. You'd get the pencil line, and then you'd quiff it over with the gel, and yeah,
Nice.
I had to look at that twice, Stephen, to clock that it was you.
yeah,
yeah,
maybe.
you look completely different.
That's
So did
wild.
I.
The second one would be again, I will try and find this photo, but it will be too deep in the archives for me to find it now. But I've mentioned it before. I
That's
basically want
2019, by the
the
way.
Gareth Bale, mate. I had like a full-on Gareth Bale haircut during school where I had like a line shaved in here, and then
Yeah,
the
that's the
whole,
pencil line.
yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing was flipped over that way. But without sounding too cruel, I definitely just didn't have the body fat percentage required to have the jawline to make the haircut work, so it just didn't look great.
I've got a couple. I shaved my head in school. Not like zero, but like I think it was like a number two or three all over. And that was all
I'll
right
get
when
a
you first
photo
got
of
it
that.
done, but it was like growing it back was brutal. Like it's because the hair just didn't know what to do. So
Hmm.
that would be up there. I had a man bun for a while. That was questionable.
What? Didn't know
Yeah,
about that.
mate, this was when
What?
I'm trying to find a photo of it here. That's when I was like 16. It was I didn't like wear it up though. It was like I had that like undercut,
Yeah,
same
yeah, yeah.
you had essentially, but my hair was just like curly on top. And
Right.
then I remember I went on holiday and I would tie it up, and thought I was like Billy Big Boss and looked like a right dickhead. Like
Nice.
lockdown trims. They're just I had a couple of different ones. They were just horrendous. So
I just grew mine out over lockdown. I didn't cut
That's the
them.
same.
did you?
It's mad.
I was like, I'm
I
cutting
taught my
mine.
mum how to do a skin fade.
It was like, right, you go half, then a one, then a two.
Yeah,
It's just looked like fucking like bricks, layers up my head.
Yeah, the experiment.
yeah. Kieran, have you had any, or have you always just stuck with the same?
I suppose, well, when I was younger, I had real long hair, actually. Quite
Right.
long, like
Mm.
curly hair, so I did. Um, yeah, I suppose I did go through a few wee phases in school then. I think I probably had something similar to, like, in a way, like Jake. I remember, like, getting like, just thinking that was cool, getting, like, the gel and just trying to, like,
Uh,
but it looks so, like, wet and, like,
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
at the front. I think I remember doing that. Like, and I think probably somebody said something to me, and then yeah, that probably hurt the feelings, and
The
I
feelings, and
was
you never
like,
done it again.
never done it
Yeah,
again. So yeah, but I suppose I've had probably maybe not skin fade as such, but I've had yeah, then for a good lot of years, I just sort of kind of let it just a wee quick. Even I don't even know. I don't put anything into my hair or anything like that. Like, just kind of
uh,
get a brush and flick it over. That's me.
and
Good to
that's
And
you.
go to work,
go.
go to
Away you
work, put a hat
go.
on.
Yeah, this is it. So, but yeah, if that was to be, there's probably plenty of other things I've tried in the past that, yeah, is not gone down too well. But you have to do
Sure.
those things. You have to
Yeah, well,
try
this is it.
them.
Same with
Learn
me
from
at the
people who
minute.
talked about it, learning from your mistakes. You need to
Ah,
make the
yeah,
mistakes first.
this is it.
Absolutely. It's the same with me at the minute, growing it out. I'll probably look back in 6 months and go, "What the fuck was I doing? Why did I?" But I may do it now because when in 6 months' time, my face will be half the size, and I'm not getting on stage with long hair. So yeah, but no, good stuff. Next one from underscore GB training. The most butchered exercises. Well, he said the most butchered exercises. I'm gonna say exercise you see in the gym.
Mm, one that comes to mind that I just hate, it's not like horrible, is see a dip machine. People like depressing their shoulders when they've locked their elbows out. It's like it's
Yeah.
the most pointless thing ever. Like you've already done your full range of motion, but people think they're getting extra by depressing their shoulders, but they're actually just basically contracting their lats.
So
I
is it like
want.
when they're kind of like shrugging up and
Yeah,
down,
yeah,
like
yeah.
at the very end, then they'll just once they've got
Yeah, at the bottom they'll just go like,
yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
Mm. Just probably coming to my mind there, just seeing somebody on the machine, well, a couple of people actually, I suppose, the flat doing flies. Again, just making it all front delt like just a
Yeah,
shoulder
seen
exercise.
that.
Seen a few of them in
First
the
thing you
gym,
can.
doc. Boys
Oh,
like
oh dear.
Yeah, just trying to shift that weight.
full stack.
Yep.
Especially that it depends what one you use in Arkham. If you use the Cybex one or the Life Fitness one. The Life
Yeah.
Fitness one with the really narrow handles, it's one of the hardest chest flies I've ever tried. Like to keep it fully
Yeah.
on your pecs, there's no way you're doing stacking that
No, geez, definitely not. I
if you're
agree.
doing it right.
Yep. Um,
For me, I'm gonna say I'm tempted to say a deadlift just because I see a lot of bad ones, particularly in our gym, but I'm not gonna say that because it is a boring answer. I'm actually going to say a lap pull down. Single arm lat pull down.
Yeah, that's fair
I
enough.
see a lot you see a lot of bad ones where people are doing the whole like leaning thing and they're also like, don't get me wrong, I think it's okay for your shoulder to be pulled forward a bit out of position, but like pulling it back and like the whole over extenuated lean as well. Seen a lot of that in the gym
Mm.
doc on that. Well, Arkham have one too, that prime pull,
yes,
you do see that quite a bit, and I feel like for me personally, I wasn't training my lats effectively for a good few years. I was just
agreed.
pulling the
Same.
weight. So
Yep.
with that
Yep.
that pull down, you see a lot of the kids just kind of like letting the chest cave in That
Yeah,
whole shoulder pulls forward and it's
yeah.
like that in the machine, you know.
You even see
Absolutely.
not to call anybody out, but you do see a few, even a few coaches still allowing, like whenever they're pulling down, they're still doing the whole lean
Yeah.
into it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, it is just, maybe I suppose people develop at um different stages. And I think I had a moment where whenever I did keep myself a lot more locked in, I realized, oh, this is actually all staying on the lat now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No, it's definitely it's same as lat movements, it is just trying to like again, I suppose after finishing my season as well, like a lot of movements, it was just it was just wanting to connect well with movements, I suppose again, and just come back to that. It is just that's what I've really enjoyed as well. I suppose over these last lot of weeks is like I've been as always but I've been just so focused on right how can I make the most out of this exercise. So if it is a lat pull down, making sure like everything is locked in place there. Like I'm not,
mhm,
there's no way I'm cheating. So that's been a very enjoyable thing for me as well. It's just training performance wise and executing, yeah,
100%.
down stuff like that. So.
Mm,
But no, it is a common thing you do see though with that exercise, the one arm pull down. It's a very good one to mention.
okay. Round. Butcher. Any?
How do you keep routine working in the refrigeration industry when you're on call, etc.? And that's from Stuart Chess.
Had a feeling it
Ooh,
would be from him.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very good, very good. Yeah, so I actually changed companies through prep as well.
Right?
Which so at the start kind of when I started prep, like there was one week I was on call and I was also working in then a skiln, which was like 2 hours from my house.
Hmm.
It was yeah, so there was a couple of weeks that I literally had to train at 4:30 in the morning. Uh just to guarantee that I was going to get my session in. And again, I never thought about it. It's just like it's just I have
You
no
have to get it
like
done. Yeah.
just gonna
Yeah,
have to do it, suck it up. I didn't didn't think about it. Which after that, the whole yeah, I suppose I could go in like the on call out thing. Like I mainly install with my job, and it was something that was kind of supposed putting me off, and made me like change companies. Kind of, I'd been thinking about that for quite a long time anyway.
Hmm.
His job came up looking where I am now for an install only engineer and no call out. So I went for that. So it meant I had no call out then for the remainder of my prep. And so yeah, I think if you are on call, it is again working in a skill didn't really help the case either because I had
Yeah.
to leave bloody so early. But it's like there's always a way, there is always a way. And again, that if you are in that situation on call, it was only 1 week, so it's sometimes you just have to go, right, here's a gap here. Um, even if it maybe like my set session there were long sessions, so maybe for somebody that is in that situation, make your session maybe a bit shorter, that week.
Yeah.
There is ways to work around it, but yeah. So that was kind of nice when I changed companies, got off the kind of call, and it was just kind of that. Yeah, I was just doing install, so I was able to not worry about when those weeks came up. So that was
Mhm.
quite nice after some because there was quite a few weeks I had to train stupid o'clock in the morning like that, but we done it.
Good stuff. Um, Matt, was there a second part of that, or is that
No, it was just that one.
just that one? Let me see. I have one more and then two really stupid ones, which I don't even know. Well, actually, one really stupid one probably doesn't even warrant an answer. But one piece of advice in the last few weeks leading up to a show from Oliver Bevan Fitness.
Mm.
Can't even answer.
Ah, unlucky, mate. Have to hold
Lead
off a
up to
couple
the
of
end of the
years.
lead up to the end of the pre-prep.
Yeah.
What piece of
Do you know what?
advice?
I actually think, where did I was speaking, who was somebody put up, I think it was actually a guy, Michael, maybe Michael from, he's coach up at the compound room.
Compounder? Mhm.
He put a thing up along them lines and I replied to it. It was, um, where did that go? It was something to do with, I think, yeah, maybe it was for like somebody doing it for the first time. But what did I say? I think I've actually, yeah, so I actually found it, what I had said. Um, I think I pretty much mentioned this earlier on, but I'll read it out what I said here. So, what was that? What was that question again? What way was it?
One piece of advice in the last few weeks leading up to a show.
The last few. Yeah, so I suppose this sort of goes the same as with somebody that's maybe doing it for the first time. But uh, so what I said here, a big thing for me, I kept telling myself was again to be present and to actually be present. So,
Hmm.
if that's, embrace the highs and lows before, during, and after being on stage, and also whether it's when you're running on empty. So if you're having those tough, you're at the stage, your sessions are tough. You actually maybe are going, I don't know if I want to go and train or whatever it is. Um, to just accept that,
Hmm.
you know, embrace it because um yeah, so what does it say? Yeah, take it all in, actually take the time to reflect after those sessions,
After it, yeah,
tough weeks, and see, and then actually realize and see what's happening around you as you experience all these challenges, because it's the whole part of it.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, so because I think that was a big. I remember like there was a couple sessions going down. I was like, it was a tough day at work, and I remember like I felt quite depleted going into the session, and I remember completing the session, and after I remember just on the way up on the road blasting the tunes, going actually telling myself, like you done
Yeah.
it. So it's those wee moments you have to just like experience that. It's a part of it, accept it, and keep going because you're improving. You're
100%.
you're doing the right thing. So yeah,
I think I
it's
think for me, I would just keep it at more is not better during those last couple of weeks. Because yeah, I buried myself a wee bit too much, I think, the last couple of weeks, and
yeah,
even between shows, and maybe started to do things that my coach hadn't told me to do. Like even I'll do an extra 1,000 steps or an extra 2,000 steps on top of my target. And then it actually turned out, oh, all of a sudden I feel like I've been put in the bin here and I don't know why. And then whenever I told AJ that I'd done that, it was like, well, mate, you didn't really need to do that. You've just probably arguably uh made things worse there for yourself. So yeah, that would be my answer. Matt, anything?
I think just taking it day by day. It can be
Yeah.
so easy to get caught up in like,
yeah,
especially between shows. If you're like, you've done a qualifier and then the final show's like an international show or a finals, and it's maybe a bit of a gap until that show. You can be very caught up in just going like, okay, 21 days out, 20 days out now, 19 days out, especially if you're posting like daily updates. And
yeah.
before you know it, you're like 2 days out, and you're like, where's the time gone?
Most of
And
the time. Yeah.
yeah, you
Big
can
time.
you can get very caught up in just counting down the days and getting caught up in that. So I think just taking it day by day, just focus on what you need to do every single day. The plan's probably going to change quite a bit in those last couple of weeks. You might need to pull back a little bit more. Food might change because you're really trying to preserve everything. So, yeah, don't get lost in like the sort of last weeks in the final show and counting down everything. That's what I'd probably say.
Absolutely. Nice.
Another one that I think is maybe worth a mention too, just don't overlook the skincare aspect of it. If your
Mm.
skin is fucked and you're going to get tanned, you've probably
Oh yeah.
not not really, you can definitely there's things you need to do. I'll not go into it here. We'll obviously maybe discuss that in a future episode, but
Yeah,
there is a whole aspect to it, skin prep. Everyone talks about like getting rid of body hair, but there's a few other things you could do as well to make sure that the tan takes to your skin in the best
agreed.
possible way. And it does pay off. Every single show I did, my coach was like to me, "Yeah, your skin looks really good, tan looks really good." So it does. That obviously plays a role too.
Absolutely.
Um, Matt, do you have any more?
Got one last one. How long has Ciaran been training, and what's his future bodybuilding plans?
Nice. Yeah, so oh, it's I suppose them early rugby days. Uh Again, I was lucky enough to be involved. I got like it was all I was the kind of like the I was Ulster under 16s development. I think I started off with and kind of went through that sort of system the whole way up. And I was about, I suppose, yeah, that's when the S&C again really came to life and the training started to bump up. But I suppose even before that, like. I remember kind of, I was probably about, I'd say 13, 14, and even could have been like, that I actually, I th I'm near sure that's when I did start in my house actually trying to do some sort of weights from there. But I remember around, yeah, probably would have been that 15, 16 where I was actually learning how to maybe properly squat, bench, deadlift, all the kind of that kind of stuff. From then, and that kind of background. And as obviously the years have went on, I've, you know, incorporated different styles of training and from there till now. So yeah, that early younger stage, probably around 14, 15 is when
Good.
I kind of started. And what was there another bit? Did you say that question?
Just
Sorry.
future plans. Future plans. So I know you're going to get in 2027, but
Yeah,
even
that'll be
long term, pro card or
I suppose that's something I haven't really thought about. I'm sort of just kind of yeah, just I suppose taking it all in still each as I go along, and uh, I yeah, from now this just again coming into this off season, like I do really feel very just focused and determined, and um just invested in my training performance at the moment. Like I said, I really want to see how well I can develop and perform and the training aspect of things. I suppose this off season, and then that'll obviously hopefully correspond, and I'll be able to add some extra tissue for next year anyway. So that'll be cool, and just yeah, I suppose just keep going from there and seeing what kind of happens as such. Just again, like I saw, just trying to bring our best
100%.
each year. So
Good stuff. I'm sure you will, mate. I'm sure, with the time you take off now, with just how, set you are as well, and this being, what you want to do and, pursuing the
definitely,
sport, the progress you will make will probably be, I would say, probably even greater than maybe what you've seen previously. 100%.
hopefully too.
Um,
Well, I'll try my very best
your best.
just see what happens.
These aren't really the first one of these I'm not going to even attempt to answer, but I'm going to shout them out anyway. Curtis, this is Arkham. Asked most improved sex position since starting the gym. Like, I wouldn't
Of
even know
course,
where to
Curtis
start
said.
with that. Yeah, I mean, that's just typical Curtis. So,
That's class, though.
That was
um,
brilliant.
I
That's
wouldn't
so
even know
funny.
where to start with that one, mate. I would argue the fact's probably gotten worse because I now have literally no flexibility and my knees creak. So
Brilliant.
yeah,
like my hips are fucked 24/7.
yeah.
The
And then
mobility will come back. It'll come back.
oh,
Did
I
do a
know.
full warm up before, get the foam roller
I have to
on.
do my
That's it.
mobility drills. And then Aiden also said, which I'd heard about this. He said Lifestyle Loops meet up at the MBFI event. Did you see that announced this week? That the MBFI are doing an event at Nebula,
Hmm.
actually before the show,
Oh,
which it's pretty cool. Like, I'm not sure if I'll be going, but like, it's a pretty cool idea that now they, as a federation, are, hosting an event prior to the actual show. Not even sure when it is, but yeah. Um, Good man, Jake. Get us tagged in that. Um, the last thing I
So
wanted
I
to
always
do,
forget.
the last thing I wanted to do is just bring this up because I just found this. Can you see this all right?
Wow.
Oh no.
There he is.
Wow.
Look at him.
There he is.
Mate, it don't
That's
look too bad there.
Nah, actually, to be
Look
fair,
like
you
fuck
look
all
more
scared,
developed than
mate.
I expected you to. But yeah,
Look at that
unreal.
right quad.
Look at that
2022.
left quad.
I know.
Class.
Shite.
It's crazy.
Oh,
2022, mate.
that's
So I,
cool.
I was looking through this. So there's obviously Stephen, yourself, Sam. That's
That's Orcs
Carl,
then,
isn't it?
isn't it?
And that's Carl, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Sorry, I thought that was him there.
that's Damien. And this guy, I can never remember his
Is he
Damien the
like
name.
legend.
Eddie or something?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
competed at that show, I'm pretty sure. And then I was actually looking at the girls as well. That's Emma Murray.
Oh, Steph. Look at
Oh,
Steph.
Steph, right enough.
Holy
Uh,
shit.
Edel,
Unreal.
and then there's Dave, obviously, as well.
There's Stephen
Dave.
Brennan.
And oh, I can never
Wife.
remember her name, but she won the category.
Yeah.
Follow her on Instagram. Feel terrible whenever that happens and you have a can't remember somebody's uh her Instagram handle, but
That's so cool.
that's definitely
There's Aiden. So I'm actually posing coaching Aiden at the minute.
all
Who's
right.
beside me.
Happy days. That's pretty full circle.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Class. Well, there you
Mm.
go.
That's really cool.
But yeah, I think that really wraps things up. Jake, Matt, did you have anything else you wanted to ask Kieran or anything?
I'm all good.
All
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 good.
good.
good. All good.
Grand. Well, listen, mate, thank you very much for coming on.
No,
We really, really
thank
appreciate
yous
it.
for really much appreciated. You're doing a cool thing here, and yeah, I'm excited to see how all yous pretty much get on this year. It's again, like I said, just seeing everybody's journeys last year, I was so just interested and fascinated in how people, went about their preps and everything. So yeah, I can't wait to follow you all along. And Jake as well for
When it
2028.
eventually happens.
Oh yeah.
100%. Good
So
stuff,
no,
mate.
appreciate it big time, lads, and yeah, keep these coming. I feel privileged to be on first couple of
No,
episodes.
it's
So
it's been cool, mate, and it's all obviously it's been a pleasure to have you on. Yeah, it'll be good to see you as well at the shows. I'm sure you'll be there.
absolutely, I'll be there.
It'll be good, I think, for you to get that experience as a spectator as well. I definitely found it interesting the first year after being
Yeah,
up there myself.
big time.
Um, so yeah, mate, I always like to do this at the end. But I think I actually forgot with Aiden. Do you want to let the people know where they can find you? Instagram, YouTube, all the rest of that?
Yeah. So obviously Instagram's probably the main thing I use. It's just Ciaran / Wilson _ I'm near sure it is. And then YouTube, I have a few wee clips up, again something I want to get into a bit more um this year. So yeah, those are kind of two main things I would use. You can find me on, and
You
anybody going into
you
oh,
still coaching as well? Like you can shout that out as well if you want.
yeah, that's something really, really wanting to develop this year. I've actually started doing some in-person coaching literally
Very
since
good.
like two weeks ago down at Arkham.
Class.
So I have so I've with my online clients I've sort of been doing some sort of like a hybrid kind of model with them. So they're into me once a week. I've actually two guys in today. So
Class. Good
yeah,
stuff, man.
so that's where we're
Very
at.
good. Grand. Well, yes. Thank you very much, guys, for listening. Make sure to check Kieran out on Instagram and YouTube. His vlogs are very, very good. As I say, he's covered show days and stuff as well. Actually, I would say probably one of the biggest inspirations for me to do hopefully the same thing this year if I can
Thank you, mate. Thank
remember
you. You
to to,
definitely
to
should.
pick up the Osmo 1 year
Do
after
it.
buying it. But
Do
yes,
it.
no guys, as always, thank you very much for listening. If you have enjoyed, please leave us a rating on Spotify if you're on there, and a like on YouTube would be much appreciated. And yeah, I'm sure we'll have Ciaran on again down the line. For now, thank you very much, and we'll catch you on the next one. All
Bye
right.
bye.
Cheers, guys.